Shalom everyone, we're gonna listen once more to another video from MacGyver 12 Pvepj. It means everything about the truth and only about the truth. It's what it is, it's what it means, justice and truth. So sometime I've been trying to write another letter to the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses. So Watchtower Tract Society in Pennsylvania, USA. I think they moved to kind of a new place, Warwick, something like that. When there is a massive place they have there, and have spoke with one of the governing body members some time ago, not long ago, but some time ago, by phone call, and said to them I will place a letter to them. Well, I think the letter will have the same effect as my 2014 letter that I sent to the governing body. It's gonna be more or less the same, having the same effect. So I decide to do differently. I decide just to do another video. And one thing we know now is these Watchtower Tract Society and Jehovah Witnesses, they have their own spies now. That's what we come to us. They are spying on online with those who are really criticizing them, other things. That shows fear. That's what they have. So this organization, I know for sure it will come down, not long from now. For sure it will come down because it's not true. So we have to wait and see. So the Great Tribulation is out there. We see it. We can see it. And now it's gonna start speeding up even quicker as it's been doing until now. So so I was starting writing already by hand, something what you would be the letter sending to the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses in USA. But I think the best way, as they have spies on the YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter, Quora, so plenty out there. So I got no problem with that, and I hope these can really reach them. That's the purpose of the video, is really this message, this communication to get to the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses in USA and others around the world, particularly Bethels and special pioneers, elders, circuit overseers. Yeah, the most possible they can reach them. And those who are gonna watch and listen to this video, could you please just pass it, just share it around, and to make these really something that the little ones of Jehovah Witnesses are being widely deceived for a long time, and that they cannot wake up from that nightmare. In some way they are surviving. So this comes to completely straight away, and they carry on pronouncing and writing using a title, modern title, to Satan the devil, Jehovah. It's what it is. So, and they still using on their scriptures another titles as God, Lord, things like that. That they should know already that God is pagan. Actually, nothing to do with the plural, what he needs to be, because Elohim is the correct thing, correct pronunciation for the three principal substances: Father, the Son, and Ruach HaKodesh. That's what it is, and nothing like God. God is singular. It's what it is. So it doesn't make sense at all. We learning and learning still. Like Lord, The Lord, they say, oh, the Lord is going back to Babylon as Baal. Jesus is not Jesus at all. Jesus, there's nothing comparing to, nothing at all. Is Yeshua. There's some people saying Yausha. There's some guys in Brazil. That's the first time I heard that. Well, they're not far away. They're not too bad. They come with these pronunciation as Yausha, Yausha. Okay, that's why we need to wait for our master, because our true instructor, yeah, our rabbi, the master, yeah, the king of kings, he is the one who's going to complete the work with his 144,000 ministers, yeah, the anointed ones, the chosen ones. That's going to be the 1,000 years. Going to be amazing. People can really get the truth, really the truth from the master. No corruption, no deception, no, just the truth as it is. And we will know for sure in that time the true name, the true pronunciation of the Most High, if that is really, as I've been saying and others, Yahweh, and his name, the Son, the bane of Yahweh, if really is Yeshua or Yausha. Well, we need to, that's why we can't, we're not on here, myself in particularly, not in competition. No, that's wrong. No. We try to get closer and closer to the original when the things start getting lost in some way. Not completely, because the Father, Abba, is good, so it doesn't allow that. But Yeshua mentioned that you will be just a few, getting in the narrow path and through the narrow door. Just a few. Well, we don't know. The choosing comes from the Father in agreement with the Son, and the Son will seal the 144,000. So there's some guys around, they keep saying things, they know everything, this is the right one because of all the thing we have done, all the research. Well, I don't say that. I can't say that. What I can say is this. I think it makes absolutely sense about this letter to the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, because they show really clear, the top guys, that they are absolutely interested just in the money, in the good life that the donations is giving to them. That's what they care about. Like other sects around, cults like Catholics, Orthodox, Muslims, and these Brazilian is becoming a quite big organization. This Yurd, for those who never heard about the Yurd, that's a big deception. That's really, I think, the top false prophets around. That's what they are. The Yurd. That's a massive problem. That is really demoniac. Is really filled with demons completely. Absolutely demons there. That's absolutely for sure what they do, and how can really mislead and deceive so many people. Anyway, there's quite a lot, so we need to be very careful, even with ourselves, because even the master said, careful, because the enemy, the liar, the slanderer, is going to try even to deceive even the chosen ones. We need to be very careful about that, because we don't know. I don't know. I keep doing my job. So let's return to the purpose of this video, the context really of this video, for those who are gonna watch it. And I would like, again, just if those who are gonna watch it and listen to it could share it to reach really the most possible number on Jehovah Witnesses, and particularly to the governing body in USA. Okay, so this is what I start doing, and the best way now, I think, to pass it is through this video on YouTube. That's the letter says, to the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses. And it says, men of the lead of Watchtower Tract Society, Jehovah Witnesses, It is not the first time I, Luis Miguel, write to you about your organization of men and women that you claiming to be the most high organization on earth. There are many doubts about your organization from the beginning when I came to be with you, with your witnesses studying. I could see early many things that you do and allowing yourselves and others with you to do not in accordance with the scriptures. Many of you, you know very well what I am talking about. I could go on and on with many wrongdoing in your organization, a cult. Nevertheless, let's go straight to the point. Yeah. So this is kind of starting with some question. Says, why are you in continuing on the using, and pronunciation and pronouncing, using on usage the pronunciation of the title Jehovah, God, Lord, things like. So how come that all of you in over 100 years could not discern or ask to can discern that the name of the Most High is one from the beginning and forevermore? He, the Most High, does not change. How could his one name change? His name is Yahweh. And we can see by the characters in our alphabet. So the Y, the H, the W, and H. Yeah, you can see that on there. And even if you write as in Hebrew, if we write the same characters from right to left, it means exactly the same thing. Y, H, W, H. Right to left. Now, left to right. Y, H, W, H. You see? Yahweh. Why? Yah. He causes to, he will do whatever he has to do. Yah. He causes to be what he wants to be in love, justice, and truth. That's what it is. Yeah? Ruach, spirit. And you should know that. You of governing body of Jehovah Witnesses. You should know that. It's what it is. Because Abba, Father, the Most High, is spirit. He is spirit. Yeah? So, Ruach. Yah. Ruach. Yahweh. It's what it is. It's not Jehovah. No. It's not Lord. It's not God. No. That's all pagan. And you should know that. You should know better. For all this time with your... Because I can stop a bit in here and get your own scriptures. And I can show in your own scriptures the revised ones. Yeah? The revised ones from Watchtower, Jehovah Witnesses. And it says the New World Translation. The New World Translation. Anyway, you keep doing these mistakes. Some of these, they are on purpose. There is no other way. You do it on purpose. Because all this time, with all the resources that you reune, and you cannot acknowledge these things, it can only be you doing it on purpose. Absolutely on purpose. So it's sad. It's really sad. When you have, at the end of your own scriptures, you have the characters there. You see? You have the characters of the Most High there. They are here in your scriptures. Why don't you go and try to go deep and deep and to see that these in here has nothing to do with Jehovah, Yahweh? No, nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. The Father Abba is spirit, is Yahweh. It's what it is. And you have it. You have it on here. And even having it in your own scriptures, you cannot discern. You keep telling and allowing your little ones to carry on pronouncing, writing, talking about a title to Satan the devil, Jehovah. That's really, really gross. That's really misleading and offending the Father. And you, governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, you should stop that. You should acknowledge that. And you won't do it. We know you won't do it. But anyway, you make part of Babylon the Great, believe it or not. You make part of Babylon the Great. Yeah, false prophets. Yeah, all the dates on your organization, they failed. We know already, because at the end of the scriptures it says very well, no one knows the day or the hour, yeah, except the Father, Abba. So all those who try to put dates affirming that dates can't be true. In your own scriptures it says at the end, and this is Revelation 22 verses 18, yeah, when he says, I am bearing witness to everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this scroll. If anyone makes an addition to these things, you should have different in here. It's not God. Elohim will add to him the plagues that are written in this scroll. And if anyone takes anything away from the words of the scroll of this prophecy, Elohim, not God, Elohim will take his portion away from the trees, the trees of life, plural, the trees of life, the trees of life in your scriptures, the trees, and out of the holy city, holy city, things that are written about in this scroll. Anyway, is quite a thing. We have to make kind of a pause on the letter and try to explain the situation. So, but we can read from Hallelujah Scriptures, comparing to Razon, Revelation 22 verses 18. We can read from Hallelujah Scriptures. That's those who's gonna, if they gonna watch and listen. Let's see if they can pay attention to the difference. Okay. 18. For I witness to everyone hearing the words of the Nebuah of this book. If anyone adds to them, actually in here is even the name of the Most High, not the completion, Elohim, but he says, if anyone adds to them, Yahuwah, the Most High, shall add to him the plagues that are written in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this Nebuah, again, Yahuwah shall take away his part from the book of Rai, and out of the Kodesh city, which are written in this book. Can you see the difference? The trees of life and the book of life. Let's come back to your scriptures. When he says, and if anyone takes anything away from the words of the scroll of this prophecy on your scriptures, governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, God, you have God, will take his portion away from the trees of life. Yeah, actually you could even put in here Jehovah, but you didn't put Jehovah on here. You put God. Anyway, and the rest is, the difference in here is, he talks about the life of life, the book of life, the book of life, the scroll of life, and here you have, as you take his portion away from the trees of life, Let's have another look in something else. The trees of life, the trees of life. Let's check. So we are already on, says the trees of life on 19. So 22:19. And he says, and if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this Nebuah, Yahweh shall take away his part from the book of Chai, the book of life, and out of the Kodesh city. But on yours, you say, it takes away his portion from the trees of life. The trees of life. The trees of life. Let's check another one, just in case. This is from Gideon's. So Gideon's. Here we need from Gideon's. Let's go in Revelation. Revelation. And we get to 22:19. 22:19. And if anyone takes words away from this book of prophecy, God will take away from him his share in the tree of life. The tree of life. The tree, not trees. The tree of life. Let's check another one. We need to check another one. Now this one actually is in Portuguese, but let's have a look. Let's have a look what it says. What do we have in Revelation 22:19? Revelation 22:19. Okay, so Revelation 22:19. It says exactly by Watchtower translation. Again, even in Portuguese, it talks about plural. Trees of life. The trees of life. It talks about the trees. Trees of life. Well, we have another one in here. Let's check on this one. Actually, still pocket scriptures. Let's check what it says. See if we come back to the Revelation. And we get it there. So Revelation 22. Revelation 22:19. What says on these ones from the Gideons? Let's check. 22:19. And if anyone takes words away from this prophecy, from this book of prophecy, God, again, is these ones also they do. God will take away from him his share in the tree of life. Again, tree, singular. But in your scriptures, governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, you have plural, trees of life. The trees of life. Let's see another one. I got another one in here from a completely Portuguese translation. Let's see what it says. The one I really read at first was the first scriptures, first Bible I read from one end to another. Let's check what it says on here. Let's check. Got it in here. Revelation 22:19. And what do we have there? It talks about the tree of life. Singular, not plural. And we have even an NIV. You see the NIV? Let's see what it says, the NIV. Most likely King James translation. It will be, for sure. So 22:19. What it says? Let's have a look. And if anyone takes words away from this book of prophecy, God, again, another mistake, but anyway, God will take away from him his share in the tree of life. Singular, not plural, singular. But on yours, it says the trees of life, plural, trees of life. Anyway, but the worst in your scriptures, when you're claiming you have done, oh look for some, we restored the name of the Most High in its place. Oh look. Well, you can deceive many, but not all, fortunately. And this Joseph Rutherford, it was a misery. it was a really misery, and you're taking over. You carry on. You're not changing things. So, and if you not change your ways, you know what's going to happen. You keep saying that to people in your meetings, in your conventions, in your literature. You don't change it. It's still Jehovah. Still Jehovah. Jehovah is a modern title to Satan, the devil, the wicked one. And you should know that already. You should know that. So you do the works of your father, the devil. It should change. This, I hope these can get really to the governing body, to the top men. Yeah, I hope these could get to them and see what it is. So why? And we will see when the master arrives. That's got to be the best thing. The master is the one who knows everything. So the master will make sure what it is, the truth. If that on there is really, when it talks about the book of Rai, or the scroll of life, the book of life, or the tree of life. Yeah, and the name, if the name was, is, and it will be, or not, Yahweh, because it makes absolutely sense, because Abba Father is spirit, and many know that Ruach in Hebrew and Aramaic means spirit, and Yeshua. Again, some they decide to say Yahusha, Yah, the Father, Yahusha, the Son. Well, anyway, that's why we need to know for sure, because of so much people, so much men surrender themselves easily to the wicked one. That's why the things cannot stay still. But fortunately, the master is coming to make sure everything is accurate as it needs to be for the 1,000 years coming. That's for sure, because Abba Father is the one who chooses who will be the 144,000. Yeshua HaMashiach will come to seal them. He's the one completely that is come to under his command. Those who are faithful to the Most High, they're gonna do the work through him, through Yeshua HaMashiach, the Master, the King of Kings, the Prince of Princes. He's the one who's gonna put the mark on them. The 144,000. It's not us. It's not our choice. It's not our decision. Not governing body, Jehovah Witnesses or others. It's the Father, the Most High. It's the Most High who makes the choosing, as it was in the past with the disciples, and brings them to the Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. But anyway, let's finish the letter I started. So we made a pause in here on when the pronouncing the title Jehovah, God, Lord, all these going to Satan the devil. It's what it is. It's pagan going to Satan the devil. Yeah, it's wrong, and you should acknowledge that. For all the resources you reune, we're talking about probably over, I don't know, over 1-2 billion in all your assets, all your money, and all the selling of the kingdom halls, whatever. That's your problem. All right, fair enough. But you should go and make the thing straight. This is not correct for a long time, and you don't want to acknowledge that. Not even telling to all yours that you call yours Jehovah Witnesses to come clear on this, that Jehovah is a modern title to Satan the devil, and you carry on doing. No worries, carry on. And that's why your organization, your cult, is coming down together with Babylon the Great. Wait and see. That's why I say, how come that all of you in over 100 years could not discern, or can discern, that the name of the Most High is one from the beginning and forevermore? He, the Most High, does not change. How could his one name change? His name is Yahweh. It's what it is. Okay? I made known, I'm going to repeat, YHWH. And you can write to left, he has exactly the same meaning. Exactly the same way pronouncing it, the same way, and the same meaning. Yahweh. If you change just the Y to the right or to the left, it means exactly the same thing. Exactly. So it cannot be changed at all. It's made on that. Those who come and do things differently, they are in big trouble. They can only be in big trouble. But anyway, that's what I say. So never Jehovah, Jehovah, or even in Italian with a G from golf. Jehovah, Lord, God, no. Is forever Yahweh. It's what it is. And you should know better. You should know better. But anyway, so Joseph Rutherford, yeah, second after Charles Taze Russell, yeah, when he took to be the president of the Watchtower by force, a bit by force, if we go and see the things closely, he was a bit of the dictator, that's what he was. Anyway, found the title from the Spanish monk and others after him, and could not make any other research or praying, asking to receive discernment from above. So, at first chance, he, Joseph Rutherford, adopt the title Jehovah to the ongoing Watchtower from Charles Taze Russell. Joseph Rutherford gave clear evidence of his misleading and being a deceiver when demanded the construction of a Betsarin in San Diego, plus the two 16-cylinder Cadillacs luxurious at that time. Two 16-cylinder Cadillacs lost. You all, those who still past, present, and even future in service with the Watchtower, you are from the same seed. Deceivers, false teachers. What would take for you to change and turn to the original teachings, in particular teaching the name of the Most High correctly to the little ones as the true name of the Son? Also, you, governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, you hypocrites. That's what you are. Big hypocrites and hypocrites. And I would like to finalize just to read again for you the governing body of Jehovah Witnesses in USA. Matthew 24 from Hallelujah Scriptures. So Matthew, if we go to Matthew 24. Let's come back a bit to, before we go to 24, let's read for you 23, chapter 23, Matthew, and after chapter 24, when he says about he says, then Yeshua spoke to the crowds and to his Talmidim, his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on the seat of Moses. Therefore, whatever he says to you to guard, guard and do. But do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do. For they bind heavy burdens hard to bear, and lay them on men's shoulders, but with their finger they do not want to move them. This is governing body of Jehovah Witnesses, the Watchtower. That's what they do. Anyway. And they do all their works to be seen by men, and they make their tiflin wide and lengthen the tzitzit of their garments. And they love the best place at feasts, and the best seats in the congregations, and the greetings in the marketplaces, and to be called by men Rabbi, Rabbi. Well, elders, circuit overseers, the governing body. Well, anyway. But he says, but you do not be called Rabbi, for one is your teacher, a Mashiach, and you are all brothers. And call no one on earth your father, for one is your father, he who is in the Shamayim, in the heavens. That's what he says. Neither be called leaders, for one is your leader, HaMashiach. But the greatest among you shall be your servant, and whoever exalts himself shall be humbled, and whoever humbles himself shall be exalted. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you shut up the rain of the Shamayim before men. For you do not go in, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you eat up widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers. Because of these you shall receive greater judgment. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you go about the land and the sea to win one convert, and when he is won, you make him a son of Gehenna, 12-fold more than yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides! You say, whoever swears by the Mishkan, the sanctuary, it does not matter, but whoever swears by the gold of the Mishkan is bound by oath. Fools and blind, for which is greater, the gold or the Mishkan that makes the gold Kodesh? And whoever swears by the altar, it does not matter, but whoever swears by the gift that is on it is bound by oath. Fools and blind, for which is greater, the gift of the altar that makes the gift Kodesh? He then who swears by the altar swears by it and by all that is upon it. And he who swears by the Mishkan swears by it and by him who is dwelling in it. And he who swears by the Shamayim swears by the throne of Elohim and by him who is sitting upon it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you tithe the mint and the anise and the cumin, and have neglected the way of the Torah, the right ruling, and the compassion of the belief. These need to have been done without neglecting the others. Blind guides, straining out a gnat and swallowing a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are filled with plunder and unrighteousness. And he carries on for many, many times, saying about the Pharisees, the Sadducees, what is today's, we can see by the men, they call themselves the men of the lead, governing body, the Pope, these other cults, religions around the world, like the Muslims also, when they call themselves, they are the, I don't know what they call them, anyway, leaders, they call them prophets, anyway, they are, most of them, yes, they are big hypocrites, like these governing body and others in this cult, this organization, men and women of Jehovah Witnesses. That's why it comes along. I hope these can get to them and they can really see the wrongdoing they are doing, in particularly the most important thing. The most important is the name of the Most High as Yeshua made known to the men who were withdrawn to him by the Father, and even was given to Moses in his time in Aramaic. and it's not lost. They just don't care. They really don't care. They care about is the donations, the money to keep them going. It's what it is. That's sad, very sad, and there are plenty out there like that, the false prophets. That's why even these Jehovah Witnesses, they are in Babylon the Great. Many of them not knowing it. What is, I believe they will be forgiven. But those who know what they're doing, the punishment is going to be greater, pretty sure. But anyway, judgment is individual. So I hope these can reach these governing body of Jehovah Witnesses in USA and all those on top, elders, pioneers, special pioneers, those who still not grasping that Jehovah is a modern title to Satan the devil, Lord, God, and they should go to close to the original and try to bring that to the little ones. Make them know that they made a mistake. At least if they recognize they have done a mistake, possible, they can be forgiven, I believe. So, but they don't really want to do that. Doesn't look like they want to grasp that like others out there. They still preferring to use God, Lord. Oh, that we cannot pronounce that. No, all right, okay. So you keep pronouncing something is in favor to the wicked one. Yeah, God, Jehovah, Lord. Yeah, it goes to the wicked one. That's much better, isn't it, to do that? So carry on doing it if that's the case. I would like not. I would like you to grasp it in prayer and ask to see that it's not really the right way to go. But anyway, I think it's done. And if that doesn't reach, doesn't have the effect that I tried, that again, that's not my fault, not my problem. I do what I can, the way I can, and with the intent to reach most possible out there. If that is the case, thank you very much for being watching, listening. Until the next opportunity, Shalom.